there, my name is Maggie and you're watching The Green Room, a behind-the-scenes web series that pulls back the curtain on some of the most exciting new projects happening at the Fifth Avenue Theater. For our first 3 episodes, we are going to be taking a deep dive into the brand new musical turned episodic radio series, Half the Sky.
And during these episodes, you're going to be seeing a mixture of behind-the-scenes interviews with the cast and crew, as well as the staff at the Fifth Avenue Theater about the making of Half the Sky. My name's Emilio. Most of the time, I'm the camera guy in this web series, or I'm behind the screen editing these videos, but every now and then I might pop in to say hi too.
We sat down with the writers to learn more about the musical and how it came to be.
Hi, I'm Isabella Dawes, and I'm the book writer and lyricist for Half the Sky.
Hi, I'm Titaya Sinutuk. I'm the composer of Half the Sky.
We really have the Fifth Avenue Theater to thank for the inception of Half the Sky, because the genesis for the musical was a prompt for the Fifth Avenue Theater's first draft Raise Your Voice commission program. And actually, it's also the seed of the working relationship between Titaya and me.
I've worked with Isabella before as a performer, and I know that she's a very, very talented musician, singer, actor. And then someone told me that she wrote lyrics. And then, so that started the conversation.
Basically, in July 2018, Titaya approached me. She had read about the Fifth's first draft program, and she said, hey, would you like to join me as my book writer and lyricist? I'd like to pitch them the idea of a musical about an Asian American woman climbing Mount Everest. And that idea really caught my attention.
My name is Desdemona Chang, and I am the director for Half the Sky. I first heard of Half the Sky before it was even written. I was actually on the selection panel. It first came to the panel as a 1-page treatment for a pitch for the piece. I was really interested to see where this piece was going. And so when it was approved and actually granted the commission award to be part of this program. So the program is a year-long commission for the writers to get to what is considered a first draft of a musical. At the end of this first draft, there is an initial presentation in New York City, and I was asked to be a part of that. And that's how I got involved with the piece and have been with it since then.
The idea of having an Asian American woman as a protagonist was in the very initial idea of this story. And I thought that was really interesting for so many reasons. Everest is also literally on a border internationally between Nepal and Tibet. And I was just struck by the idea of an Asian American, in this case a Thai American, coming to Mount Everest and being a foreigner in Asia as somebody who grew up in this case, Seattle.
With such a culturally rich story to be told, it was super important for Half the Sky to be accurate in its depictions of its characters and locations represented in the show.
We are an Asian/Asian American creative team, but none of us are Sherpa. So that was just one aspect of the representation conversation that I was very concerned about.
To achieve the truthful portrayal Half the Sky needed, Isabella and Titaya did a ton of research, which ended up connecting them to a very kind expert on Sherpa culture in Nepal.
My name is Nima Sherpa. I was born and grew up in Nepal, and I moved here when I was on my early 20s.
We're so lucky to actually have a Sherpa person from the culture gave feedback about, what the culture is like, what it felt like being part of that base camp, and what the climbing felt like.
And it was very helpful for me to hear something and then correcting their words if there is anything that I can suggest. Everest was first climbed by Sir Edmund Hillary, who is from New Zealand. He is very beneficial for Sherpa people. He helped build a school, like hospitals.
The man Nima is referencing, Edmund Hillary, was a New Zealand mountaineer who's known worldwide as the first man to have summited Mount Everest. However, lesser known in the history books was Tenzing Norgay, a Nepali Indian Sherpa who guided the white mountain climber on his journey. They reached the summit simultaneously, together, and yet they've never shared equal recognition. That first recorded journey began a long-standing tradition of foreigners from all over the world coming to Mount Everest and relying on Sherpas to guide them to the top. The very culture of climbing Mount Everest is one of different nations and identities colliding.
When one climbs Everest, it's inherently like a colonial act, a colonizing act, right?
Typically, the story of Mount Everest is from the white male perspective. The whole notion of defining Everest as the highest mountain in the world, and then the idea of conquering it, that's a story of physical domination. But the idea of having a woman climb in this very masculine culture of climbing, and then also being Asian American, I just saw there is a lot of opportunity there to reveal the story of Everest as this kind of in-between place.
The really, really valuable part of it is the representation on not just the Asian Americans, but the non-American representation.
The music of Half the Sky further expands upon this core idea of the journey up Mount Everest being a multicultural collision. Since our protagonist is a Thai-American woman climbing up Mount Everest, the composer, Tataya, felt it was extremely important to allow the score to have both Thai and Nepali musical elements.
Climbing Everest is an international expedition, so we just wanted to have more sounds than just what traditional musical theater sounds would be. I mean, there's still some traditional contemporary musical theater songs in there. I mean, the group that our protagonist was climbing with is very international, so we just wanted to make sure that like we can hear, besides just, dialogues, we also can hear the songs from around the world in a way as well. When I was a younger kid, my mom took me to learn Thai traditional instruments. So in a way, it taught me to listen to something that isn't Western musical tonality and just something else. And then, I feel like a lot of time when you think about classical music in general, it's all major and minors. But then when you think about the global one, there's more scales that you can have fun with it. Like for Thai music, it's pentatonic. So when we're writing this piece, we decided we're gonna infuse as many tonality scales as we can.
Wow. What Tataya said sounds really awesome, but I'm not really a music guy, so it's going a little over my head. I was wondering, Maggie, could you explain to me what she's talking about? She said major, minor, pentatonic. What is that?
Yeah, so major and minor are very popular scales to the Western world. I mean, in Western classical music, it is often used. They're very familiar. And then, we have solfege to go along with it. Do, re, mi.
Fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Yes.
A deer, a female deer. That's like Sound of Music.
Yeah, it's just like Sound of Music. We also have the minor scale.
Ooh, that kind of sounds spooky.
Yeah, it has a sad sound compared to the major happy sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about the pentatonic that she was talking about?
Yeah, the pentatonic is a scale that is widely used in Thai music, and it is a 5-note scale instead of our usual 7-note scale.
That's really pretty.
It is really pretty.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Torgelson. I am the Associate Artistic Director, Artist Engagement at the Fifth Avenue Theater. My role in association with Half the Sky is in the casting department. I run all our casting at the Fifth, and I also run our First Draft Raise Your Voice program.
Hi, I'm Orlando Morales. I am the Associate Artistic Director, Community Engagement at the Fifth Avenue Theater.
I'm really excited about the world that the team has been able to create in this platform. There are moments when you feel like you are on Mount Everest with these characters, and the way they've used sound design to bring it all together has been really cool.
I'm going to be a music nerd and just say that I'm super excited to hear instruments and sounds and melodies and musical traditions that I have never heard in a musical before, but that we know have existed for hundreds, thousands of years. So connecting musicals and the musical theater format to something that exists out in the world, in the global community, is super exciting to me.
So now that we know all about what Half the Sky is, the next idea we wanted to delve into is why tell this story now and why in this way? So if you want to learn more about that, check out the next episode of The Green Room and join us as we break down the making of a musical at the Fifth Avenue Theater.
The Green Room is shot, written, and directed by Maggie Berry and myself, Emilio Miguel Torres.
This series is made possible by the Fifth Avenue Theater and all their amazing sponsors.
We want to give a huge thank you to all of our interviewees who gave us their time so we could provide informative entertainment for all of you.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and share it. And if you want to continue watching the series, make sure you follow the Fifth Avenue on Facebook and Instagram and subscribe to their YouTube channel.
And if you'd like to know more about us, our information is to the right.
And if you've stayed this long, comment your favorite ice cream flavor.
Thanks for watching.